Hello, everyone, and welcome to another round of commentary from the US Open. This is WGM Sabina Foisor. A little bit better than yesterday, maybe, with my voice. Just want to take a moment to apologize in advance. Been dealing with some things, and I guess no matter how much I tried, it hasn't fully worked, but I'm ready. I'm feeling fine, and hopefully, you guys will enjoy this. Yesterday, we had a very exciting round in the Invitationals with a few upsets, not decisive games, though a few could have been such, but a few draws by lower rated players. And today, we'll have to see what the day will bring. Certainly, this is a tournament I think a lot of people are looking forward to. It's one of the biggest tournaments that brings talent from the youngest to the oldest players in the country, with players competing from 50 states. The stream for the tournament is sponsored by Precision Tune Auto Care, whom I want to say thank you. And yeah, without further ado, the tournament is at its 125th edition. It's always a pleasure to comment on it, and I can't wait to see what the day will bring. And without further ado, let's get into the games. Don't forget to let me know if there's someone in particular you want me to look at. I'm going to pin the link to the games so you guys have the ability to check the games that are taking place, and if there's someone in particular you're following and you want me to look at a bit more, I can certainly do so. All right, so let's get started. So on board one, we have international master Stuart Rachels. He had a pretty nice positional game yesterday. Let's see how he's going to do today with the black pieces. So, all right. So we have a close Sicilian, bishop g5, h6, and now queen d2. All right, knight e2. So a pretty solid system was chosen by white, with the fianchetto. Maybe a 4 will be played later. The idea is that white did not really weaken anything on the queen side, and probably b4 is going to be met with knight d1, and later maybe c3, maybe not, but just trying to hold on to the position as much as possible. Going on to the next board, we have Grandmaster Alexander Fishbein, who once again, for those of you who don't know, has recently been crowned the US senior champion in St. Louis a few days ago. He had a brilliant game yesterday. We'll see how he will play today against Demelt Karl. And by the way, this is the Irwin Invitationals. This is the tournament of senior players, and we have, looks like, one of those Canal Sicilians, bishop b5, and okay, white will possibly end up going with d4 later, or maybe just d3. We'll see what white chooses here. Both are still, it's still early on to tell. Ooh, we have an endgame already in International Master Matros's game. Matros represents South Carolina, and he's playing, well, a Pirk that looks like a transposition potentially to some kind of Philidor exchange, and now bishop e6. For a lot of people, this trade-off can be something you're worried about, because once the trade happens, you're thinking the two pawns are weak, but without white actually being able to put more pressure, those pawns should be perfectly fine. Knight f3, castle, and such would be a nice continuation to expect from white. And then probably or maybe f3 could also be played, by the way. It depends what exactly you want to achieve. If you do this, definitely bishop d6, king e7, and black has a bit of pressure potentially here, but first he needs to make sure that pawn is well protected, no tactical ideas will arise, and then he can focus on maybe advancing these pawns to try to put pressure on f2. That's why sometimes white does choose to play f3 in this position, but still probably would go bishop d6 or bishop c5, controlling the diagonal, and just simple development. I mean, still early to tell. We have a Vinegar French. FIDE Master Robbie Adamson actually got the chance to teach a camp not long ago, the FIDE Master Robbie, and he was definitely ready to play some chess. He was excited to be competing in this tournament. We'll have to see how he does. Still early. Okay, let's see. All right, the Albin counter gambit. This is something we don't see as much, by the way, but a3. The idea of this move is to avoid bishop b4 check. Sometimes white can also play g3. And the point is that black gives up the pawn, but gets to push this pawn to d4, which restricts white's development to the knight to c3. And it makes it a bit difficult for white to develop. But typically I enjoy these lines with g3, and then black oftentimes proceeds something like this to get to recapture the pawn, castle, and then takes the pawn back, and in some situations they even castle long. I believe International Master Timothy, I think he's an International Master, Timothy Taylor has is an author as well. Bishop b2, a5, b5, very natural. So white chose a more aggressive kind of setup, but now gives up the pawn. What's the purpose of it, you may ask? I'm asking that too. So maybe we have to find a way to get it back. Maybe start with e3, opening up the bishop, knight goes away, and then possibly like b92, rook c1, and attempt to kind of regain that initiative that white lost by taking the pawn in the first place. Now we're trying to get it back. This is going to be an interesting game to follow. Let's go on to the Denker, which is the high school championship. We have on top board Henry Liam Putnam, who has had a really nice game yesterday. It seemed like it was going to be potentially drawish for a while, but he was able to outplay his opponent. Now he's playing against Advait Vijay Kumar, and looks like they had a ready. Okay, pretty standard. So basically here in these positions, black proceeds with knight f6, castle, and then black needs to decide. I mean, h6 is a nice move, prophylactic, to retreat the bishop when needed. But black needs to decide if he's gonna play c6 or not. Typically they do play c6 because they want to have like a nice solid center, but we'll see. We'll see. c5 could be an option too. The reason I sometimes dislike this idea is because white can capture and then go d4, and this is not an ideal placement of the pieces for black. in order to utilize the fact that they will get an IQP. So this is the reason why a lot of people avoid pushing c5. The pawn structure is simply not something you want. Interesting. This is the second time I'm seeing this Richter Rouser. This must be theory or something, because we had one yesterday and I thought it was wrongly played, but I guess it's not. Or I don't know. Because I thought this is the move, right? You're trying to develop the bishop, but yesterday we had a game where black also played g6. I think it was the game of International Master Stuart Rachel's. His opponent had played that, and I don't know why I'm liking this for white so much. I mean, it's just a much more comfortable position. Weakness, outposts. Yeah, we give up the bishop pair and we won't be able to build up an attack, but also black's bishop in g7 is going to be restricted by its own pawn. f5 would be weakening the position. I mean, I believe there are games in this. I checked yesterday night after the commentary. I was doing a bit of selection for the positions that I enjoyed the most to submit to JJ for publication for Chess Life Online article, but I just still, you know, I feel like white is more comfortable. Please, if you know anything about this specific setup or line, don't hesitate to let me know. Maybe this is a new trend or Chessable course that I've missed, but otherwise I'm feeling quite comfortable with white's position, I'd say here. Like, I don't have much to be worried about, I think. What did we have here? All right, some English. Double fianchetto for both. I really, oh no, sorry about that. How does this look? I think I fixed it. Yeah, so this setup is kind of nice, I think, for black. Just equalizing. The knight will be developed to d7 or c6. Either one is fine. I mean, if white chooses to take, then we have hanging pawns, which, okay, we have to be careful for. If you remember yesterday, we had a game where there were a few issues, but normally should be fine. Nothing spicy just yet. I mean, the game's just started about like 20 minutes ago. And by the way, for those who don't know, there is 2 moves delay. That's how they're going by now these days. It's actually much nicer, I think, when there are 2 moves delay, because you're getting the moves much faster. As soon as, you know, the 2 moves are played, you're just simply getting them back to us to envision, to see, to catch up with. The good old Rui Lopez or Steinitz idea, d6. I noticed this has become a bit more popular these days. Bishop e7 is the most classical variation, where black waits 1 more move to see how you're going to deal with potentially pushing d4. And then, of course, there's bishop c5 as well. The Archangelsk variation, or Archangel, like we say it in the US. A very good chessable course on that has been made by famous grandmaster, top grandmaster Fabiano Caruana. If you're interested in it, you can definitely check that out. But d6 is the Steinitz variation, and the idea is black defends this pawn earlier and tries to avoid pushing b5 for at least a bit of time, and then goes bishop d7 and delays the development of the bishop in e7 so that they can play g6, bishop g7. That's basically like the idea. So you need a kind of a delay, because okay, this would be another way to try to delay it, but the issue is now after bishop b3, if one pushes b5 too soon, it allows white to play a4 and break through the position there. In addition, I think this would allow potentially some knight g5s, or maybe d4 first. And black might be struggling a bit with the king in the center, f7 being weak. So we need to be mindful in the way we are setting up the pieces. That's why this move is more like gives black more options. Okay, so white's not gonna rush with a push of d5. It's gonna try to keep the pawn there as much as possible, and then probably knight f1. And black wants f5. Looks a bit scary because the queen is on the e-file. Maybe you're worried something's gonna happen, but I'm telling you, it's not that bad. It's quite fine for black. If we take, one takes, and of course maybe rook d8, queen comes in, black's gonna focus on the king side. All right, I guess the players are not there. There's something up with that board. So we have a Catalan in Anania's game against the very talented Megan Paragua. The very classical, typical line takes. Here, a4 in order to stop b5. In just a moment, I thought the move was knight c6 or bishop d7 in this position for black, in order to because I mean the pawn will be captured anyways. Black needs to find a way to complete development, but Megan chose c5. Yesterday she also had a relatively symmetrical position, and her opponent blundered. She was able to win a piece relatively fast. In this one, she's trying to trade some pieces, but I'm not. Okay, goes for a cute little tactic, attacking the knight and also threatening discover check queen. So I think this seems to be a really nice move for white, because if you take or something, then you know, I got the bishop there, you're behind in development. If you go back, I can trade, and again, like maybe my knight is hanging. I can't go rook c1 just yet. Not just yet. Maybe knight c4. followed by rook c1, rook d1. White enjoys a very pleasant position with a bit of initiative, better placed pieces, and black needs to find a way to get the bishop in c8 out. That's why bishop d7 is very, very important. But her opponent messed up here. Yeah, bishop e3, very nice. Don't miss this kind of opportunities when you have them. Like, take advantage of the initiative and development. It can make, create wonders, I'd say. Okay, I wonder if her opponent is just trying to keep some kind of equality. Now bishop takes, and basically black has the bishop pair, but has an isolated pawn in d5. What do you guys think? Do we like white or black more? I mean, it's about balance, but which side would you choose to play? I would choose probably the knight, because I love knights. So I'm gonna go with that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that there's a bishop pair. I want my knight. So, okay, we'll be back to this game. Ooh. Another Sicilian. 4 knights. This line, yes, I am familiar with this line quite a bit. Bishop b4 is something I've played a few times myself. Bishop c5, king e7, very important move for black. If you take, you're in trouble, big trouble, because even if you attempt the trading of the queen, bishop f4, and that queen or whatever piece will remain on d6 will not be chased away for a while. So, yeah, you need to be mindful about these kind of situations. So king e7, bishop f4, checky, back to f8. White is building up some pressure, but it's not going to be enough to really do something. If you go, for example, knight here, you got to be careful for tactics, okay? Do not fall for this. Bishop takes f2 checky, and knight takes e4. So that would be definitely something you wanted to avoid, okay? So don't fall for it. There's some little tactics present. And you can ask me, why didn't they do it earlier? Well, for obvious reasons. The knight is here protecting, the queen is here protecting. So if you take an f2, king takes, no check is gonna work to be able to win the bishop. Yeah, and now it's basically just a game. Maybe queen g6 now. keeping some pressure. You can go queen f3 or knight g3, I don't know. But basically, white's attack and initiative is gone. You just need to be confident that you will escape. If you ever played this line with black, you just need to have a tiny little bit of confidence that you'll be escaping the situation. If you have that, you're all set. You will survive. Very likely, or not. So in this game, we had another Rui Lopez. This time, I think the Brer or Zaitsev. The knight has been brought back to d7. The Grand Prix attack. Let's see. Interesting. I thought this is usually what people do here. Why is this such a big mistake, guys? Is it d5? I mean, I'd do anything for such a center. Anything. Just tell me what, and I'll do it. Yeah, d5 is definitely something black wants from this pawn structure. It's the dream. Is the dream. And now we can't really stop it, but I've seen oftentimes in these kind of positions either e5 to try to stop d5, or maybe like, but c3, maybe c3 to attempt some d4 eventually. Not yet though. But c3 also controls d4, so you can consider doing this. By putting pressure in c5, you're stopping black from going d5. They will have to play d6 and will be good. Alright. King f8. What? What is this? What's wrong with castle? This must be a transmission. I mean, no way King f8 was played. Right? There's no need to go King f8. I mean, everything looks fine for black. So we have the semi-Slav in this game, but this system is not really giving white any kind of advantage. White will have to go queen c2 now, and maybe follow through with some minority attack, or b1, b4, a4, b5. But I think these positions tend to be more comfortable for black, because white has rushed to make the trade, in my opinion. When you trade there too soon, you're simply allowing black the ability to get the bishop out, utilize the e6 square, or simply be able to bring a piece to e4. I mean, that's something you want to be mindful about, you know, like I'm a bit surprised by the decision of taking so soon in this game. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just it's fine. You can play the system with b3 if you want. If they capture, you can take back. You can play bishop d3 directly or bishop e2. Let them take. I mean, this is fine. Castle, and then eventually you'll go e4. But taking, I think, it just makes things much easier for black. So I would avoid it if possible. So we got to the Barber now. Just a normal Sicilian. White is attempting the creation of an IQP, which I love. Definitely enjoying the fact that black's king is in the center. Maybe we can see something like this. But I don't think white can hold on to the pawns. Probably they'll go bishop e2. Maybe h3, knight d2. This could be some kind of setup. Do we have something better after castle? Just trying to hang to the pawn, but I don't think these kind of defenses are not really ideal. It's not gonna be enough. Bishop e7 on the board. c4 just trades off the pawn, doesn't really help white. Bishop a3. I don't like the placement of the bishop there. White, maybe h3, but yeah. Black has equalized, I think. The Alapine. Let's check this game out. Bishop d3. Yeah, I've noticed this idea becoming quite popular here. g6 and bishop g4. Forcing black to give up the bishop, and now we have this position where white has the center, the bishop pair, and black needs to decide what are they gonna do. They don't want to stay behind too much, so it's important to find a way to break through that center, attack it somehow. Usually it's e5 or d5, or maybe f5. But not easy. Maybe this, or simply bishop b1 first. Because why not? It's only temporary. We'll follow through with a3. Knight goes back, bishop a2 before it continues. This is another typical idea for black. I'm just worried about e3 before. And I don't think black is ready for f5. Does anyone know additional theory here? I think the theory is probably gone. Oscar has spent quite a bit of time, which makes me believe that he probably went wrong somewhere. To tell you the truth, I would play e5 here if I were black. I wouldn't want to allow my opponent with that beast of a center. And okay, if you close down the position, then we'll just play some King's Indian style position. No cause for alarm, we can even go bishop e7. Or maybe here, just go for d5 to break through, or force white to block the center, because we know that when you have the bishop pair, you need those bishops to be open, right? And yeah, like, now they're not. Playing in a Caro-Kann style. There's a line in the Caro-Kann where e5 is played, and black plays knight e4. I actually like it quite a bit. I used to analyze a lot. You might be surprised by that statement, but I used to analyze a lot when I was younger, and I did enjoy this kind of positions, because later black would get the ability to play f6, break through the center, queen b6, rook c8, just kind of get their counter in the center quite fast. A few more moves were played there, so maybe, okay, so he did go for e5. And his opponent took. How is black planning to recapture? What do you guys think? If it were me, maybe with his knight. Because that's from all of the pieces, that's the knight that's not doing that great. We can of course capture with the pawn, but then we just blocked our bishop. I dislike an idea. But knight takes, I mean, takes. Keep the pressure, rook c8, eventually d5. Black still needs a few moves to equalize, but should be able to do so in no time. What did we have here? Another Catalan, looks like. East these days have switched for more positional openings. Catalan is relatively solid. So now usually white plays the move queen c1, and you can say, okay, Sabina, but why didn't they go queen c1 directly? Sure, he could have, but sometimes they actually want black's bishop to be placed in e4 so that the knight cannot go there. So like, if you go queen c1, I think this is a genuinely good idea. Trade, queen takes, and yeah. We'll continue going. from here, but it's better to have a bishop there instead of a knight, because look. I think I fixed it. Goodness. Let's just presume you play here. We actually can avoid the trade of the bishops with this move. Or and now the bishop will have to go to g6, and it might end up being restricted later with the move e4. How did we get from 4 knights to that position? Oh, that is the way. That is the way to go. g4, my move. Let's go. h6, bishop e3. To trade or not to trade? That is the question. But let's make it better. Definitely not to trade. To move somewhere, or g1 or h2. I think both have some nice follow-ups to it. Like here, castle, h4. This, on the other hand, also has a nice idea. Bring the knight to g3. He chose knight g1. So this is in the Rockefeller, by the way. We have Ling Shizhu from New York. He's playing as Jacob Wang from Southern California. I'm liking White's position. Is definitely building up some attacks. It's kind of reminiscent of Jobava London or something. Or simply King's Indian with a bishop in e7. Old Indian. Definitely a bit unpleasant for black, because black would love to trade a bishop, but it might not be easy to do so. So after this, the question is, what do we do though? Because this is happening one way or another. If we go back, he goes back. He's happy with the draw. I think we cannot avoid this. So now, by the way, if you take... Should we go for... Knight f3 or f4? But f4 I don't like it, like, we give up that outpost. So we gave up a pawn for the initiative, which I'm still trying to figure out how to get. Can we do this? I believe so. Because if you take, you actually lose, right? Because of the pin. So this would be what I'd want to do. Bishop e7, and now g5. So yeah, that was my attempt. Looks like black did not want to trade a bishop, which I think is important. Knight b6 is nice too, trying to kind of get this bishop instead. b3, of course. And now he can still go back and go back for the other line, but same idea, right? Or maybe there's a difference. Oh, now that the knight is gone, maybe we can go. Nah. Not a fan of this. Maybe now f4. Because the knight is gone from e5. Definitely white's building up something here. Definitely. And he's doing quite well with the time too, so... Ooh, wait, what? c5. So the question is, do we care about c5? Do we do the en passant, or do we go for h4? Personally, I love h4. Chase the knight away, and I feel like now, I don't know if g5 directly or knight f3 first seem to be really unpleasant. I mean, the reason this move is not so good is because it blocks black's potential breaks with c6. And notice white has already played g4. So for black to do something now to open up the position is hard. So you do want to maintain that c6 option available for later. Like this, doesn't quite work. So that was definitely an issue. So I personally would go for h4. We'll have to come back and see if Lingxi is gonna go for it. This looks really... But it's Ted's game, guys. It's Ted's game. You remember Ted? He comes up with these positional improvement ideas more often than anyone I've seen. Okay, so we had some Torah attack. I see. Interesting. I'm trying to decide where exactly does white want this bishop. Normally I would say g3, bishop g2. But I guess we have to do this first. And are we ready for d5? Because if I were black, I would try to get rid of the double pawn as fast as possible. Now, obviously, I can try to avoid it, but not for long. We can just keep putting pressure eventually. We're not going to take to remain with weaknesses, but we're just... This is quite balanced still. I mean, we'll have to see how it pans out. So we did like a brief review of everything. How do you guys feel? Do you have a specific game, a specific player you're rooting for? I'm gonna try to see if anything else has happened that catches my attention from the current positions before we might take a tiny little bit of a break to get extra drinks. I like how black decided to set up his pieces in this game. I think is pretty nice. This is nice. So are we going to see this? Very likely. Let's get the bishop. Or we can also take the bishop directly. I mean, either one. Maybe take. Maybe just take. And now, what is the best way to take advantage of that bishop? Yep, knight b6 on the board. Because I don't want to push f4 too soon. It's just giving black some ideas, and it blocks my bishop here. Definitely not f4. Maybe knight f4. Let's get that bishop too. Hey, why not? Why not? Looks like a nice bishop to be captured. I like it. Rob is having a slight advantage in that game. Do you guys remember how at some point here white decided to give up the pawn back and actually let black take in c4? Oh, they didn't even give up a pawn. Why did I think they gave up a pawn? Now I'm really enjoying white's initiative. Solid, simple bishop pair. And let's just put some pressure on the weakness. It's not so easy for black to defend here. I feel like g4 is coming, 94 is coming, 94. I mean, if you have to do that, man, go away, knighty knight, bishop comes to d4. Not happy about that situation. If you go rook here instead, we also may be able to bring the artillery, maybe knight here anyways. Or, but if I go g4, 96. You know what? I also like g3, h4, h5. Why not? Improvement. You know, sometimes, especially when you do commentary because they're not your pieces, I personally have the tendency to kind of want to sacrifice things, you know, make things go my way, but you don't need to. There's no need to sacrifice anything. You just need to improve. You have a very nicely, very nice position, bishop pair, weakness for black in e6. There's no need to rush. Just play g3, push the h pawn. Should be good for white. Not much has happened here. We have just a standard kind of, yes. How would I call this? Because now my run, the bishop is out. It was already originally, but maybe we can just call it that. A Carlsbad kind of, not really yet. On structure, very nice. Very safe for black. At the moment, the bishop in h7 is fine. Probably black with the castle, and if you dare to take, we'll take back with the knight. No issues there. If you go e4, I don't think black needs to take. They can also probably do something like, sometimes they take an e5, but I don't know, maybe they can also take here an e5. It's necessary to do something in the center, but yeah, I don't know about king takes. It's like queen d3 or queen c2 check, and then e4 anyways. Again, this is the kind of position that we want for white. Like I said, weakness. I'll need to do more research about this to figure out exactly why are people playing this line, because I think it's a bit worse for black. So trying to understand why is it that they would want, like, they would feel comfortable to play this. Still early on in that game. White is okay for now. Missed opportunity over here. If you guys remember, bishop e3, I think would have definitely given white some chances, but okay, the current position calls for some equality for now, unless Megan finds some way to outplay her opponent. So it looks like white decided to hold on to the knight in the center, which I like. This could be annoying. I was thinking queen f6, f3, but I don't want to allow this move. h4 could be unpleasant. Well, temporary. Oh. But now we need to deal with that. Maybe, but c3. It's gonna be hard to castle long if you play c3. Could it be just castle? Just castle. Just like that. Bishop h3 doesn't scare us. We're protected. We also have queen f3. Let's develop. I guess it was real. I thought it was wrong, but I guess black did indeed play the move king f8 earlier. Earlier, I thought maybe it was just some DGT error, but I guess the king is actually there. White has a pretty pleasant position here, but not enough to really have the advantage. This is usually how they break through with a4 trades. They can attempt queen d2, maybe knight h2 g4, but there's not much for white. Ooh, lots of reds on this game. Let's see what happened. Another king f8. What is wrong? Wait, this is another game where king f8 was played. Ay. No. I guess we had 2 games. I didn't even realize there were 2. I thought there was just 1. This was actually the one where we saw king f8. Knight g5 blunder. Why is this a blunder? Maybe this, and you gotta go. The knight's gonna move, but black knight d5. Ooh, this is not gonna be pleasant. Once the file opens up, and check this out, white to move here. Can you guys find a brilliant idea for white? There it is. But now let's see the follow-up, because okay, that was easy to find. Because this I don't know where the follow-up is. Man, no, f6. F6 has to be. It's gotta be f6. Yes. Yeah, don't take there. You don't have enough to bring the queen to f7 and mate and stuff. No, just go f6. And then black's king will be in danger. Danger zone. Very nicely found by Rebecca. Love that. White's got the IQP now. Not much attack. Knight f6 or knight f8 will be played next, and black will attempt putting pressure on the IQP, while white won't be able to really build up any attack, but maybe knight e5 will be something to do there. It's on chess.com. It's pinned in the command, Elshan, but here's the link. How is it going, Elshan? All good? Where is everyone watching esport? I don't know, maybe on chess.com or something. They're probably covering it, I guess. I guess it's happening now, isn't it? I've seen a few posts on that. Definitely a huge event. Yeah, too many events to follow. Like, you gotta choose. What are you gonna choose? Whom are you gonna choose to watch? That is the question. That's the big question. So I guess black realized in this game that they made a mistake, because they played knight b6, attracted b3, then c5, definitely a mistake, no more breakthroughs and such, and now knight d7. But actually I'm not sure a4 was really what I was planning on, but now that black wasted time, Definitely we should go for h4. Definitely go back knight f3 or g5 directly. I mean, we don't need to waste time. Just go with the flow. This knight can be brought through here to f5 for h5, and black's position is very difficult to deal with, for sure. And not much yet from Ted, but we'll be back to it. Alright guys, so I think what I'm gonna do now is take a short break, replenish my tea, and I'll be back shortly. We'll leave you with these games over here so you have an idea of what is going on. Just a moment. Oh, oopsie daisy, I forgot to update it, I guess. No, that's not it. No. I'm sorry. I cannot leave you with that. I will leave you with a BRB page, and I will be back very soon. Thanks for staying close. We are back. Hi, Chess Wizard. Welcome back. How's it going? There's a DGT error on the... Interesting. I was not taking a look at the US Open games. Maybe we can check them later. What's up with that game though? Yes, technically I could just look at it fast. Why is this a DGT error, mister? We will be looking at invitations. I just want to see if I'm being tricked or not. Wow. That looks like a possible move. I mean, it is a fork. Oh, I see the GGT error. Yeah, never mind, never mind. Probably the queens were traded. The queens were traded in D1. This is the position, so okay. I was just looking at the game. Yeah, probably this is how it was played. Like queen takes D1, rook takes D1. This is the position. Yeah, don't worry about it. Really, they wouldn't blunder really like that. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Okay, you scared me there for a second. But yeah. Let's catch up back to with our invitational games. And see, did we miss anything? Did we not miss anything? Since we left off, obviously black has been able to build up a pretty nice plan of attack on the queen side. Very typical. I don't know about castling. Maybe you should have taken first, or maybe b3. I don't know about this yet. Maybe it works. But now we can castle, so we need to decide if this is what we want. I mean, we can castle by pieces, by foot. I mean, maybe we could break or return, but maybe rook here. I guess technically black would keep the king in the center if I'm not mistaken, because the position is relatively closed. You can just do that, bring the rooks on the a file. Might be just fine. Black may not need to really necessarily castle, you know. Obviously we cannot take, because if we do, that's a fork. So don't fall for something that, you know, tricky. Queen c1, and now, okay, the knight needs to go back. And white may have found some regroupment, maybe bishop c3 to trade a bishop. Bring the knight back into play. Okay, it's not that bad. Still balanced that game. I'm definitely liking this position. For black, it's relatively comfortable. He's got the control of the c file. White has more space, but it's an endgame. The extra space doesn't matter that much. This bishop is also not doing great, so this will be a long game, very likely, where I have a question. Should we attempt something like that? Or why did he go rook c6? Just to maybe he wants to improve the position of his bishop somewhere. Maybe like this. And that's why he played the rook there. Keep the pawn covered, bring the bishop. Makes sense. Doesn't this just lose a pawn? I'm confused. Looks like black just blundered and white missed the opportunity to take the pawn. Ouch. That is a tough miss. You don't want to miss that. Yeah, knight b4 now doesn't really... I'm deciding, do I want to take or not? That's my question. Do I want to go for this? Or is there something slightly better? a5. Oh, actually a5 was played, I think. Yeah, just... no need to give up the bishop. Let's hold on to it for a bit. Now, if you take in between move, it's not really in between because now two of white's pieces will be hanging. So you need to probably go back. But in which case, black continues their pawn advancement, and it is unpleasant, certainly here. Definitely very, very unpleasant. Okay, black saved himself a bit. Alright. When we left off, I really liked Robbie's position. I don't think... he ended up getting both bishops, okay? But now, how does he open up things? What do you guys think about this position? I just wanted to, like just take another look at this. Just wanted to point out that it is very important to be mindful about how your pieces are placed, what pieces are hanging. Don't ever miss the opportunity to look for what things are doing. For example, like this pawn was protecting the knight, so when you push it forward, you always want to remind yourself, wait a second, my knight was protected, now it's not. Can they take, or can they take something around to weaken it? This is a very important rule that, I just want to point out really fast before we moved on further. Anyways, that game was pretty balanced. What do we got here? Ooh, yes. Is this really good? Oh, jeez. Oh, my cat was here, I didn't see her. Ouch. I'll bring her later to say hi. Did we need to make the sacrifice c5? What do you guys think? Was that really necessary? Like white didn't get, maybe this is, ah, sorry. Ouch. My bad. Take back. I take it back. Maybe king here. See, I'm trying to teach you how to avoid issues and then I'm falling for them myself. Sabina. What are you doing? Never mind, let's go for it. But then what? Do we take? I think so. Yeah. It's looking nice for white. I feel like they had a slightly better move here, but I just can't pinpoint what it would be. Because if we 93. If we castle, there's 93 anyways. Or maybe not, because now maybe we can sack it here. Maybe this would be even more unpleasant. Because now we have a bunch of discoveries and pressure. Ooh. This might have been even nicer for white. Check this out. Castle. Castle first. We like this. And then maybe rook d1. There's no need to rush. This may have been a bit rushed. But okay, white still has some advantage because, you know, badly pawn structure, bishop pair. But is it going to be enough to convert? We'll have to see. Check this out. So it seems that Black placed his knight in e4, trying to play a position like London system with reverse colors. And white goes back 92 with the attempt to play f3. Now, if we had the bishop on this other diagonal, maybe we could consider some sacrifices. But here, there's nothing. We don't have sufficient power. Don't panic. There's nothing over there. Knight d2 is the right approach to play f3. Now, if black considers to go here, I think we can still play like g3 and then this knight will be hanging. No big deal. That's why black play knight f6. So now, obviously, if they play f4, they're kind of killing their bishop in h7. Sorry, f5. I mean, I would like it still, though. I would really like that move to still be played. Now, if f3... I wish this worked. But I presume it doesn't work once again. Only if white is so kind to play this move, then we can get the mate and we're happy. But obviously white doesn't need to do that. After knight g3, we can just move the queen somewhere. Maybe queen, should we say e1? And then the best thing the black can do is maybe check, take. But, okay, white has a lot of material. So we do not want to go for that after f3. Another interesting idea might have been to play knight g3 directly. The point would be, obviously, is forking when you take bishop takes, and now we're threatening queen h4 and mate, and white can panic and say, oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose. But no, just look at the threat, don't panic, make sure you understand the reason, the threat. And I think if you just move the rook, knight f2, that's covered, no threats, extra material, white is doing fine. So the important thing is not to panic. I still feel like black might still have something here after f3, maybe just maybe this could have worked because now the pawn in f5 will have abilities to play f4. Maybe just go back now, knight g5 or knight f6. And I'm liking black's position. I think it's pretty fine considering the Londonish kind of pawn structure with reverse colors. I mean, I would play this. Would you? He chose, what did he choose? His knight f6. But this, okay, this just trades the active knight, trades a lot of pieces, and the position is about equal. And the other one, I think black still had some pressure. It would have been nice to continue the on with the pressure, I think. Evan is still good in his position with the outpost backwards pawn. Sorry, isolated pawn. Maybe a rook takes needs to happen. If you do happen to hear some meowing in the background, it's my cat Regina. I think she wants some attention. You never know. She never wants attention when you want to give her attention, you know. Always wants when you're working. That cat. She's the chess cat. Her name, by the way, means the queen. So, chess queen. Chess queen cat. I sound better. I know, Fimber. I feel better. I feel a bit better. That's good. We're on the right track. The problem is, I was talking to my doctor this morning, and I was told that I need complete rest when I'm not doing commentary. So, of course, I'm planning to listen to that. It's just like kind of, it's gonna be hard because there's 2 rounds a day, today, tomorrow, and today and tomorrow. There's 2 rounds. So maybe on Thursday, maybe my voice will have sufficient time, and then with 1 commentary per day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe, just maybe, like someone on stream said yesterday, I will sound much better by the end of the tournament than I did at the beginning. That would be brilliant. That would be like a story to tell. Story in the making. Yeah, black has gotten pretty much everything here because they have more space. White didn't get any breakthroughs. Black just needs to figure out when to sacrifice and what. Laryngitis is hard to talk about. I mean, I don't know how this happened, to tell you the truth. Like, I've been teaching a lot of camps this summer, and I started feeling a bit suspicious like 10, 12 days ago, I don't know, and I thought it was just temporary because I had to raise my voice a few times. And then basically I talked to the doctor. I asked, once I realized it was getting bad, I also made this very silly thing, which, please, if you're ever struggling with throat pain, do not do this. We were having lunch for one of the camps, and they had ordered Indian food, and I didn't think to ask someone whether that would affect me or not, and I think that's when I messed things up more. Like, it wasn't very bad, but then I was like, okay, Indian food, and it was spicy, of course. Not of course, that's terrible. So basically I didn't know, and I had some, and I was feeling so much better. while I ate it, I thought my throat was soothing and getting cleaned up, and I was gonna be able to talk normal again. Yeah, think again. That was the worst decision I've ever made. Worse than so many other things like losing a game or who knows what other silly things I've made. Yeah. So basically, for those of you who don't know, if you're ever struggling with bronchitis or laryngitis, you cannot, under any circumstance, eat spicy. While it may soothe your mouth temporarily, throat temporarily, yeah, I had a delicious meal, and then at the end of that night, I couldn't talk. Like, literally. I literally could not. I was told not to get too excited. Um, yeah, I just could not talk anymore, and then I was like, what did I do? And then I called my doctor, and I was like, so this is going on, what do you think? And then I found out, and I googled it, and I found out that I messed up big time, very big time. And that was like maybe, like, I don't know, 10 days ago, 12 days ago, I don't know. So yeah, so ever since, I took medicine, I took everything. I rested my voice as much as I could, especially the last few days. But yeah, lesson learned, hopefully, But know what they say about chess. It's tough, you lose and stuff, but if you're learning why you went wrong, if you're learning it and you're not gonna make the same mistake again, you are just simply on the right track. Regina, can you guys hear her in the background? That girl. Anyways, my voice is coming back. It will. I need to do a lot of recordings. If it's not coming back, I have no idea what's gonna happen. I didn't even research to see how I got it. I mean, obviously, probably from one of the kids, a bug or infection. But it just went gradually that I didn't even realize that something was wrong in the beginning. Probably if I had realized in the beginning, I would have done things even earlier than I did, because I only did when after I ate that food, and because I thought it was just temporary. And yeah, that was the story. The very long, short story. I'm looking forward to being able to eat spicy food again. Probably not for a while. I don't think I'm gonna try anytime soon though, because I don't wanna I don't wanna risk anything. What's the worst part from this? Like, the voice, whatever, it's fine, it will come back. The worst part? The worst part is I cannot have coffee. That is the worst part. Yeah. Coffee is supposed to be really bad, so I need to stay away from coffee and caffeine. So I need to learn to work energy less. No, not energy less, but like, without additional energy brought into my system, which is going to be quite fun, because I think sometimes we get addicted to specific things. And coffee could be, it's supposed to be, I don't know, there's too many research. I don't know if it's good or bad. The point is, a lot of chess players drink coffee, right? Or tea when they play and stuff. You need a bit of extra energy, but I won't be able to have any of that. And I used to also have these like really good energy kind of drinks that were naturally made. I can't have those either, because they have fizz, and fizz is also not allowed. So no fizz, no coffee, no. It's just no life. No life. That's it. No, actually, I got no. I'm good with that. Thankfully, I don't have a headache. I couldn't take extra pills. I'm not a huge fan of taking more medicine than I already had to take for this. So yeah, like I've done this before. Every so often I would like stay a week or so without coffee at all, just to make sure my body doesn't fully get used to it and craving it all the time. I think it's important to do that occasionally because yeah, then you're used, you don't get headaches, you know, you learn to rely on your own resources that the body produces. And I think that can also make you into a better sports person because, you know, like if you just get used to something, it could just you know, affect you when you don't have it or you can't have it a certain way. So it's very important, and that goes for chess and all other sports too, of course. I like white's position a bit here, but it's not much. You don't like mixing coffee and chess personally? You don't like to mix them personally? No, I'm kidding. Why not? What's wrong with coffee and chess? You don't drink coffee when you play? I see. It depends on the time of the day when I play the game. If it's early in the morning, I probably would like some boost. Like this commentary would definitely be very nice with a coffee boost. What's really funny is that I've been having this chamomile tea forever and haven't been touching it, but now that's all I'm drinking. So at least one thing in my pantry is gonna be finished after this. Wait, Ellen, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. Shout out to ET Alien. I don't know if I have a shout out command. I need to figure out how uh to do it. Let's see if it works. No. Yeah, I was able to give a shout out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Welcome everyone. I'm WGM Sabina Foisor. Currently doing commentary for the US Open Invitationals, which is a tournament that takes place in Wisconsin right now. It's at its 125th edition. And we're looking for the invitational games, which are there are 5 tournaments: Denker, which is the high school; Barber, middle school; Rockefeller, elementary school championship; Haring, all girls championship; and the Irwin, all senior championship. Pretty much these tournaments bring one player from every single state. We have almost players from almost every single state in the country, which is quite exciting. And we are watching round 2. Also, if you happen to hear my voice, I apologize in advance. Been dealing with some issues that were supposed to be gone by now, but clearly uh, my body decided not to. But I promise you I'm fine as long as you guys enjoy the commentary. I'm glad to that you're here. So it looks like here Megan made a small mistake. She gave up her bishop pair in order to be able to capture e2, but I don't think this is gonna be enough for her because now the 7th rank is weak and it is white is going to be able to take control over it. Rook c7, very nicely played by Ananya. Now what do we do? because white's threatening that pawn and this infiltration. This pawn is protected if you take. I think we're definitely doing this first. Let's say you go rook there, we take. And it is white that might be able to capture a6 first. So Megan might be the one who's trying to defend here. I'm surprised by her choice. Maybe she could have done this to attempt the trading of the rooks and just maintain an equal position. Okay, she's not lost or anything, it's just a bit unpleasant. She will have to defend in that position. Black seems to have blundered here. Oh, can you guys find out what can white play in order to take advantage of this mistake? And notice the pawn was protecting the queen. Now that the pawn pushed, white can do something. Something very unpleasant. F4, very beautiful move. Found by Esther. Now you can take because you're pinned, and if you move the queen back, which is what happened, I believe, we're going to capture in e5, and something's going to fall very, very soon. Either rook f7 or, you know, if you take with the pawn, probably, even sure what's best, probably this. And it will be game over shortly. White seems to have slightly more pressure on the queen side than black has on the king side here. We're lacking white's chances a bit, but time is important. The player with the white pieces, ML, has to rush a bit. So when we left off, there was this kind of cute positions where white sacrificed, and then we said f6, trapping the bishop, forking those two pieces. Wait, why didn't she take? That's surprising. Take first, then knight g4. Or maybe she thought it was the same. Okay, it's not that bad. White is winning a lot of material, and we'll probably go on to win the game very soon. Too much material to deal with. So in this position, white played knight e5. The idea is if you take, we have this check. So you obviously cannot take. But I feel like this gives black a really good position, because if you take with the rook, you're falling for this pin. If you're taking with the queen, I believe queen takes d2 and queen takes b2 gives black an extra pawn, more pressure, much better position. Yeah, looks like black missed that opportunity and is now play bishop h5. So now white kinda can get out of it. Did white have something better here? Do we have some sacrifices? Or maybe c4, c4, c5. If we go... No, they just take. That does not help us. Maybe something like this. Actually, I really like this because if you go there, I think we're winning big time. Maybe this check anyways, infiltration. White could have had a really nice position here, I think. I'm not a fan of the rook in a5. I was thinking this, but I'm worried about d3. So let's do maybe this. No, but black takes. Can white find a way to keep this pawn protected and... Maybe rook b1? Oh, maybe rook d3? Oh, actually rook d3, there's rook b5. Apologies. I'm having trouble finding something. What do you guys think? Because it seems natural to just go grab the pawn, I mean... rook a3, but then still this. I've literally tried everything. Unless it's a sacrifice, but I doubt. I mean, it cannot be. Nah. I don't see it, my friends. Okay, this is equal. There was a move here for white that would have given white like slightly better position, or maybe like relatively big advantage, but G Sefi, thank you so much for subscribing. US Chess appreciates you. Like this happens no matter what. Like this. And black loses a knight. My goodness. Took us a while. Took me a while. Queen d2. Probably. Or maybe queen e1 if there's a difference. Maybe queen e1 somehow. There's something fancy about, or unpleasant, wow, queen e1. So just keep the pressure. If they take, you go here because you maintain the pressure on the rook. Then you bring an extra attacker. And black's losing the piece. Wow, this is deep. This is the prophylaxis kind of idea you want to find in a game. Wow. Really, I'm loving this move. Queen e1. Whenever have you seen such a nice backwards move? And white is just doing amazing. Really amazing here. But the game allowed some trades, which led probably to a relatively equal position. If white plays here, maybe this endgame could be slightly better for black. Maybe queen b5 instead of queen c2. Ah, no, the rook is hanging, sorry. Knight b5. Yeah, black has the bishop, which is better in this case, but how to progress this is gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. This game might end in a draw. Very symmetrical position here, very... Okay, this was the game that I really like, but I don't see h4, so I'm unhappy. About what? No, no, this must have been the game, the round of the king moves. Nobody wanted to castle. What's going on? I missed the memo. I missed the memo here. Like, what was the memo of this round? Not to castle, because pretty much we've seen King F8, King D1 now. Like, what's wrong with the lone castle? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Just bring the king, bring the rook. The rook will help. There'll be H4. I missed the memo, clearly. Because I don't know what's happening. Of course, white has the time to bring the king all the way to b2. There's no need to be worried about it, but it just gave black look at like really nice knights. Got the knight to f3. Now there's no h4 g5. I mean, trades the dark square bishop, which is black's bad piece. You know, just a lot of waste of time that wasn't necessary. I'm really surprised by Ling Shi's decision here. Okay, he got this kind of pawn structure, which tends to be really good for white, because the pawn in b5, he can even play c4, and the e7 pawn will be weak. But, I mean, that was not necessary. No way, black play bishop f6. No, come on, just trade. Trade, that's why you put the bishop there. That's black's bad bishop. You gotta trade. You can't hold on to the bishop. There's no need to do that. Now I can play rook g1 and you'll never trade it again. Maybe he's just thinking, well, he's gonna defend because white cannot play f4, but yeah, white can. We'll play c3 first, you know, maybe f4 later, but there's no need. I like these ideas to coming on the A file with white if possible, I think. Alright, and the last game, is Ted gonna be able to win this? Of course. Alright, so improvement of the king. A6. G5 seems fine. Opening of the C file. B4, very important. One pawn stabilizes white's majority. That's very important. And now he needs to come with the king. That's kind of a cute idea. Yeah, this is an idea that white should not have missed. Maybe h3 first, and then bring the king. So white missed this idea, and now black's got quite a bit of activity, which is going to help him get a good position. Potentially winning one. One of those pawns is gonna be lost. Actually, black can also play this first. Or this first. Get the bishop away, and then advance with the king further, close the bishop. This is the pawn we want to capture, actually. If you have to choose with black which one of those two pawns you're going to capture, you definitely want to capture the b3 one. By capturing the pawn in b3, black will remain with a passed pawn, which is exactly what you want in this position. We reached the end of those. Let's resume to board 1 in the Irwin. How did black go? See, what's interesting about this game is that in pretty much every other game, someone ended up moving the king and castling by foot. In this game, when black decided not to castle by foot, he actually lost the pawn in h6. They forget about it, I don't know. I think he must have forgotten about it. Maybe he thought he will be able to utilize the H file for attack, but there's just one rook that can come there. There's no sufficient power. I'm not sure if black will be able to get as much as he wants from this position. Hi, Michigan Eagle. You think white looks close to loss, but you don't have enough pieces to attack. Like, you only have a rook. How exactly do you want to put more? I mean, I want to do something like this. I don't know if I should take or go knight c4 or knight c4 directly. You have pure intentions. Okay, I mean, I get it. I got you, but still, I mean, I don't know. Pure intentions is just the beginning. You also need sufficient power. You need some coordination, which I'm lacking with white here, with black here, sorry. You don't think white thinks is better? That I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. We can go ask him. I mean, I can't, but if you're there, you could. Now, white is definitely quite comfortable here. Losing that pawn doesn't, I mean, it could be there in about 10 hours, okay? Well, maybe you should be there by the end of the round, by next round. You can catch, no, I'm kidding, of course. Alright. Black maintains the pressure. I'm not seeing the winning plan just yet. But the king needs to come into play. Well, maybe now there's rook c2. Something like this, and then check, and yeah. Alright. Step-by-step process, that's how we win the race. Ooh. So remember, this was the game where I was mentioning that in this position, black made this blunder of playing c4, forgetting that the pawn was necessary to keep the knight protected, and white missed the opportunity to take. Very simple way to win a pawn. So now that didn't happen, wait, black didn't go for b4, that's surprising me a bit. But okay, bishop c5 first. Now b4, fine. I don't understand this game. Doesn't this just win? The knight is trapped. With threatening queen, you gotta go there, and then we take. And by the way, if white captures, do you guys know what black is gonna do now? Take a moment and think about it, because this is kind of cute. Oh. Well, actually, let's just promote to a knight to force things. Because queen, maybe you had bishop takes f6. My bad. So queen actually did not work because bishop f6, and then we take. But knight would check. Gotta take. Extra piece. b3, so gorgeous. Wow. Okay. Black missed that. Okay. Okay, black still won a piece. I don't know. I would have liked it. b3 is just so cool. Like I've seen this tactical idea so often where there's a pawn that gets in a2 and it seems that it's gonna be stopped, but although it's stopped, you know, it actually creates some very unpleasant situations. And yeah, I just love when there's an opportunity like that possible. I think it just makes the game super cool. Looks like black will be on his way to win that game. Queen g3 mistake. Oh. Okay. Well. I just wizard. Yeah, I believe it's better. I mean, I feel better when I woke up and I said Regina. I was like, oh, already feeling better. That's good. So I guess we're on the right track. Hopefully it will be slowly recovering. Though normally speaking, a lot. It's not really what I should be doing to recover faster, but it is what it is. Yeah, see, that entire exchange sack did not really pan out for white. Now, you know, black's gonna take, and black should be doing really fine here. So I'm supposed to cover the invitationals, but I can certainly check it out. Board 7. Oh. This is not looking good for black. What opening was this? Some kind of, oh, this line, I don't know what it's called. But I thought this was not that great for black. I'm actually, yeah. It does look very nice for white. I totally will give you that. The bishop pair is strong. And there's no real plan for black. The rook in g8 is dead. This pawn is weak. Black usually gets some kind of attack either on c3 or some kind of kingside attack, but here they didn't get anything. And I feel like this is going to give out a pawn. Not really looking good for black. So we got pretty decent results, right? Or black is on his way to win this. White won. VAR is playing. Okay. Queen up. Very strong tournament, actually. For the 7-day schedule, I'd say. Alright, let's get back to our invitationals. Looks like my move, knight c4, was played. And then rook d8. No, that line is not really ideal for black. That's not a line that people play that much anymore. I think you can do it in a blitz game, but I wouldn't really recommend playing it over the board that much. I think it's, yeah. Maybe we can play this. Or this. Putting some pressure, get the rook into the game. Yeah, black's position is suspicious a bit. Alright, with the bishop going away, now black's king comes into play. Maybe even bishop c7 to trade. I mean, I would have gone rook c2. I don't know why he didn't do it. Maybe he wants to do it now. Maybe now he wants to do it. I mean, he would be winning material. So, I mean, definitely black is on his way here to continuous improvement. This was relatively easy win, draw. And black is now in the driver's seat, definitely after this unexpected rook sack that wasn't necessary. I mean, white, like I said earlier when we were looking at this, white doesn't need to keep the king in the center. They can just castle, bring the rook into the game. The sacrifice can happen almost any time. Black struggling with the development of the bishop in f8 with that diagonal getting ready to be opened. So, you know, that seemed to be something that white could have done. Did white mess up somewhere? Yeah. You can't do this because of knight c4. But, maybe just go back. It's not that terrible of a situation. I guess black had an even better move here. Maybe rook c8 first. I actually like that. There's an open file. Controlling c4. Followed by bishop h6. I mean, bishop h6 is not going anywhere. I guess maybe this is something maybe he was worried about. But we can go back. Isaac's definitely in the driver's seat, putting some pressure. I think e3 is weaker than d5 because the pawn can be attacked with a bishop, and if a bishop gets there, it's bad. I agree, the chess wizard. So in this game, as I said earlier, black has to prep here somehow. Rook g7, queen h5, double up and eventually sack. I think that's the way to go. Also, bishop h4, g3 could be an idea here. Get the knight at some point. Oh, this is one of those DGT error things. Yeah, this does not happen. This line we were discussing actually happened, just that white decided to go rook f5 instead of my suggestion, rook d7. Maybe it's about the same. But now, because black pushed f6, white can get back to d7. You don't have time to take, it's protected. Now when we go there, we attack g7, and if you go bishop f8, then rook a7, trade, and take a6. Well, white's pressing. White's definitely pressing here. Esther on her way to win here. In the previous game, instead of f6, you can try this. It's not really ideal because we'll do this. I feel like black needs to find some kind of activity. But I mean, why wouldn't you play here? It's about the same thing. Ah, maybe she was worried about bishop a5. That's why she kept the rook. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, Megan is pretty cool. She's pretty strong. She's getting stronger and stronger every day. Yeah, she hasn't played for 10 years, but she has played for a while. I mean, recently you probably have heard her name quite a lot. She's had a great tournament in Europe, and then she almost won the girls junior championship a couple of like a few days ago, and now she's playing here. She's played in the super nationals as well. You probably have seen her name a lot, but yeah, it's not really 10 years. One of your students played her. Yeah, maybe this. No, it's hard. So what happened here? She played king h7. So now the question is, do we do this first? No, look at this. Oh no, this doesn't work. I guess black holds here. Guess we can just go grab, but then what's our plan? To go to g8 or bishop f8 or just take? That's mate, right? Yeah, that's mate. Maybe black can hold this. So what is the best move after king h7? What about this? This looks game over. Well, not game over, but you lose a pawn. And let's calculate. So if rook takes, too many things hanging, too many. What else can you do? I mean, if you go back, bishop takes. Come on, no. I mean, I just really think this position is really good for white after bishop d4. Because once you lose a pawn, you know, okay, it's not decisive advantage. I mean, it is kind of like it's plus 2 point whatever that says. But it's just the idea is very hard to deal with that position. Very difficult to defend. If this move is found, which is not that difficult, like discovered attack and attacking f6. Just, you know, you gotta go to d4, not d8, right? Because if you go to d8 and bishop c3 just simply defends, keeps the pressure, defends, and black is okay. But if you go to d4, controlling the square, there's no bishop e7. So it looks like a pawn will be lost. Esther's on her way to win this king and pawn endgame with 2 extra pawns. Okay, black needs to rush with this plan fast. That's the best thing that black can do. White kind of got stuck there. Maybe knight a5 should be played, or maybe I wonder if this would have worked just to get rid of, but then there's not much. Maybe rook b1, then no. I wonder if this is not yet. Maybe rook b1 to go b5. The engine doesn't like any of my suggestions. I feel like you know, you want to take an e6, but I just can't decide when to move the queen after. Obviously, we need to move it, but where? I guess we could go back and trade. That could work. Yeah, now black is creating finally some ideas which will make white's life a bit difficult. especially after f3, but usually you want to take as many times as possible. Make sure to recover the third rank so that there's no f3. Maybe actually pawn takes is probably better. Hold on to that. Maybe the rook can slide over. White is okay. Rebecca won that game that we saw earlier. Yeah, g4 is quite typical. No, g4 is definitely really typical there. Wait. Was this an option? Wasn't this game over? I believe so. Because you don't have bishop g6. So I guess white missed that. She played queen b3 and missed a huge finish there. Very easy. Well, not easy, but like kind of cute. All right, this is remember this gorgeous idea that we saw here, queen e1. I mean, that was the move because you can't take an a4 due to queen b4, taking the pressure on the rook and attacking the knight, and white is doing great there. Not much there. All right. So guys, we'll be taking another short break. Unfortunately, I don't know why it does not work that I switched scene so you guys can see all the games. So I will leave you with a game. I don't know which game do you want to see more. Maybe I'll leave you with this game. And I will be back. I'll be back very, very soon. Stay close. Hey everyone, we are back. And I say we because someone wanted to be a part of the show here. So, what we have in this position is definitely looking nice for white. I mean, extra pawn, but okay, how you progress, it's a matter of maybe time, but yeah, this is Regina. Is there a difference between that and this? Probably not too much. Looks like there's a crushing move here for white. What could that be? Could it be just king e1? If knight takes, then we go here and black loses material. If bishop takes, hi normal, it's super. How are you doing? Maybe king d2. Chase the knight away and then start marching that pawn. And black's king is not in the box. So actually you don't have time to go for these pawns because this one just goes forward. So knight e2 was played with a similar idea maybe now. Knight b3. If we take. Yeah, this should be fine for white. Knight b3. Black should be able to hold though, right? You're doing good? Nice. That is very good to hear. Very good. We're liking bishop versus knight in this case, right? Because the bishop will support the a-pawn, the king can take this. White's even having the ability to create a passed pawn on the king side, which is nice. This pawn is blocked. Definitely white is the one who's playing for a win here. Well, trying at least. Definitely a lot of activity from where we left off for black in this case. Okay, International Master Mattress was able to convert that. This was a draw from some time ago. Black may be on his way to maybe winning this. But let's see. Oh. This allows rook a1 and it's You can't cover the pawn. I mean, the king c6 was good to support that pawn, but now it's not. 30 plus times. Wow, that's a lot. So this was played, and now we take. You don't have a check. If you play c3, what does white want to do to try to hold on to the position is the question. Because if we check king d3, if we go rook c5, still king d3. The only thing I can think of that white might want to try to do is do something like this and then attempt to sack their pieces on that and just kind of support this. Julian, hey, how are you doing? How's it going? How's the tournament going for you? I think you're playing in the US Open, aren't you? You're playing 4D. Oh, okay. I saw your name. Yeah, this is Reggie. She decided to be naughty, so I brought her on stream. It's either bring her on stream or have her cry in the background, so I don't know. I decided for the first. She's a queen, so in case we need an extra queen, you know, for promotion or anything like that, she will be able to oblige. You're all happy, but you didn't say nice chat. Yeah, the cat is like the queen of the show now. It makes up for my voice, you know. She makes up for the voice. So what do we think? Sacrifice? Or maybe do we? Nah. That doesn't do much. Wait, could we just go here? I mean, it's weird. Nah. Rook 2, c2. GG. GG. Regina is funny when she hears the noise. It's like investigator. I can't really see much defense for white unless maybe rook e2 and just come back. Then the king comes in anyways. I'm having trouble. Can you guys see any kind of defensive resource. F6 now. Pushing the pawn is not gonna lead too much. I mean, king g3, you just push, right? This is tough. This is definitely tough for white. All right, Evan is back to an equal endgame. He was struggling a bit to find a good position for his pieces when the bishop came to h6, but now he seems to be doing all right. I mean, couple more moves, couple more trades, and the game could just finish in a draw. After rook d6, rook d2, you gotta decide what piece you're gonna give up, and then we just trade the pawns, and this endgame is a draw. That would be an upset, definitely. Ooh. Isaac's definitely on his way to win. Did he just capture it in? Yeah, knight. Knight. What's the best way to convert black here? Maybe this. We'll have that check anytime, just put extra pressure. That pawn will eventually fold. There's not much that I can do with the checks. There's rook f7, and that pawn will fall. We're approaching the end of... Okay, look at that. So I was talking about black having the ability to eventually make a sacrifice. I guess he never really did get to do it, but he was about to, and his opponent definitely resigned here. These are some kind of ratings. I believe it's the USCF, yeah. Definitely not the FIDE. I mean, the tournament is not FIDE rated, so I think. I believe it's their USCF. I don't know, chess.com sometimes puts random stuff. Actually, might be FIDE, never mind. Might be the FIDE ones. Because chess.com automatically picks them up somehow. Ooh, looks like white missed the opportunity to play bishop d4 in this position, as we discussed. Instead, she played rook d7, which allowed black to defend a bit. Yeah, that's why I feel like it might be either another Antipov or there's something wrong with chess.com's way of putting the ratings. Oh, cute. Cute find by Megan to get into a rook endgame where she should be able to hold on to the draw. The only bad thing about the situation for black is the fact that this pawn is in f6, which does not allow black to place the pawns f7, g6, h5, which is typically the way to do it. But other than that, this should finish in a draw. No. They use the real ratings, don't worry. There's a some chess.com thing going on here. Don't you worry. Esther was able to win this. She was winning earlier. We've seen. We'll review everything. Looks like Omiya was able to outplay her opponent in the end. Was there a mate? Ouch. Yeah, this is always unpleasant when it happens because See, this rook is unprotected, so now black would have won in this fashion. Gosh, I got scared. Oh my god, Regina, you scared me. You scare me, you cute little thing. It's like, what was that? You sneezed. Wow. Regina is bringing someone luck here. Ay, ay, ay. I don't think I got scared before like this. Poor baby girl. Regina. I think it has to do with chess.com, not with the US chess or anything. Oh, this is a nice kind of finish. Too many extra pieces for white. So this is the game where Tanya actually missed the opportunity to go queen f5 here, if you remember. We talked about it. But did she end up? Oh, her opponent messed up again, and now oh, that's a sad blunder to have go through. But white is already better now with these two pawns, but this is a sad blunder to fall for, because that was a discovered idea that white had. But bishop takes f7, queen takes f7 was a thing, so as soon as rook c1 was played, that was definitely something white had in mind. But after bishop g4, you can't do it just yet because that rook is protected by the bishop, so not like this. And then the rook would just take and black is winning. But h3 was the kind of like tricky kind of idea. See where you move the bishop. If you go in the wrong place, and bishop f7, and that's exactly how Tanya was able to win this. Nice win by her. Knight versus bishop. I always like to see knight versus bishop and just kind of understand the background basically of the situation, because the knight obviously has the ability to both defend and attack, and the bishop only has to do one thing, only can do one thing in general. But here there's no entrances for white, and I don't believe white can find one, so the players will likely agree on a draw, so this would be a nice upset. Oscar did draw the game, so he missed a bit of the opportunity there. Hi, Smarts guy. Yes, I'm surviving somehow. I'm still alive, still here. Not giving up. Despite my voice. So it seems that white blundered here somehow. That voice might not be alive longer. Oh. Well, I have had laryngitis and bronchitis, 2 in 1. And sorry, Regina decided to leave us. And apparently I followed all the doctor's orders and everything, but it's taken much longer than expected for it to heal for me. And yeah. So I'm just counting my blessings, though. I mean, could be worse, right? And happy to be here with you guys. Still is decent. I mean, if you heard me a week ago. Well, better said, if you didn't hear me, because I couldn't say anything. I was whispering, and apparently whisper is really bad for you. So I'm recovering. This is a recovered Sabina, and being home with Regina is definitely helping. You know, always nice to have some positive vibe next to you. Thanks, smart guy. I try. I try. That's why also I normally I would have done at least a stream before the US Open to let you guys know on my channel that I'm here. So I appreciate all of you for being here. Um but yeah, I just couldn't because the doctor's orders. Only talk when you really need to. Nothing else. Text your friends, your family. Don't you dare talk. I'm like, okay, sure. Honey and lemon. Hi, Kevin. Yeah, trust me. I got my tea here. I got my lime water. I got my Manuka honey, which was the most expensive honey I will ever buy in my entire life. I don't even know if there's a difference between regular honey or that. I was told there is, so better be for the price I paid for it. Lots of hydration, and I'm also doing these like uh, steam stuff that you're supposed to use for sinus infection or something. But yeah, I'm taking care of myself. I promise. I have my steamer thing for my face close by, but I'm not gonna show it on stream here. But you can be sure that it's happening every time I'm off camera, just to make sure I get enough. I get my throat cleared somehow. I don't know. You guys enjoy too much talking about these bad ratings. So what was a better way for white to win here? So like maybe switch over to this side, but then no, because then we drop that. Sorry. Should I do this? This is too slow. Casual trash talk? No, I did not trash talk. What? How did you trash talk? I have no idea what you're talking about. B4. Maybe B4. Bring the king. You gotta sacrifice eventually if you really wanna get somewhere. So I guess you took, but maybe too soon. Wow. This is gorgeous. Ah, so maybe white had to just move the bishop then first. And then go for that. His bishop takes f5, so black gets an extra pawn now. And the bishop pair, which is important. Mm. So what is a good move for black to... maybe just go back. But then... What's the move here? Yeah, white should be doing, but I mean, no, rook f3 is what he played, and then the king came, and white is winning. We need to find a way. I wish rook takes g6 worked, but it doesn't. Oh, maybe check? Oh my god, is there a perpetual? Because if you go there, maybe rook here, and then let's just pretend you just go to grab something. Maybe we have some draw. Or maybe, sorry, maybe this first. Oh my god. That is crazy that was the drawing line. I mean, look at this beautiful idea. So check first. Can we try to escape? No. No, because if you're not careful, you'll get mated. Yeah, this rook e2 check, very important. Black failed to realize, I think, how dangerous rook g7 f7 is. And now there's no way to do something about the rook in g8, and then he went on to, I mean, he's about to lose probably. So here Ted was able to outplay his opponent yet again. Yeah, rook h4 and c4. Wait, rook h4 and c4? What do you mean, when? In that position? Oh my goodness, why do I keep doing this? Okay, fix it, fix it, fix it. This was tough, definitely. Very tough. I mean, where else to go? You think d5 is the place, but is it f5? Rook c2 takes. Or check first. And white is okay. Oh. King d5, the move that loses the game. Rook c2. And then rook c1. First pawn to fall. He didn't take it yet. Okay, now he has the h pawn too. But he doesn't need it. He's going to c2 to win the rook. Then he'll sack the rook for that to win with h pawn. Very nice. Very nicely played by Ted. How did we get from that position where white was up a pawn to this position? I'm confused. Because knight b3. White didn't take in d3. White played knight b3. Okay. Alright, then now it makes more sense. And somehow black makes it in time to stop the e pawn. It should still be a draw, right? What is the best way to draw? I guess maybe... This is brilliant. But if you play king f2, then there's 93, right? Ah, but then we take e6. Okay, this should be the drawing mechanism. Knight f4, grab, grab, draw. This is definitely an issue. But he has to find it. If he doesn't find it and he goes for king d2, which seems more natural to avoid knight d3, ouch. That's gonna hurt, because now that white's king is totally restricted in some kind of grid, the king comes into d5, grabs the pawn in e5, and the story will be written by black. Oh, oh, why do you think black played here? Black to play. This cute move. And now you're pinned, and this bishop is dead. So the endgame is winning by black now. Even if you don't take, okay, you can hold on some more if you try to activate the rook, but it was probably slightly better try, or maybe king f3, I guess. But this endgame is still lost. Black infiltrates first. Okay. So Grandmaster Fishpine with another win coming right up. He's definitely in the shape of his life somehow. I mean, he just won the US Seniors, and now coming here with 2 back-to-back nice wins. Okay, looks like Timothy Taylor has won his game. I mean, there wasn't so much that White could have done here, that to our knowledge. And Rook d1 seals the deal, twins the bishop, threatens c1, and black just promoted. Well, was about to, so White resigned. Wow. How is this 0-0? Black's pawns are more advanced. I guess check. So I got a question. Can White sack here? Yes, I got my answer, but it's still... You still have to be very cautious, I think. Because if you just do this, I think you're gonna lose. I'm not sure how, but... Black to move and win. Mate in 23, that's hilarious. No, white wins. Wait. We go here, and now we stop the pawn. So he goes there. Brilliant. And that's how you seal the deal. Okay, I kind of made a random move. Not random, but like, this is kind of cute. Okay, so white has to be, or both players have to be precise. Alright, it's happening. It's happening, guys. So what's the move? Because apparently b4 is a blunder. b4 is not the move because after king g4, black is winning. So what is the move here for white to draw? Is it king h3? Wow, is white gonna find king h3? I need to stay on this game. I need to see if white finds it. The players don't have that much time, so this is really this is really impressive actually, if he finds king h3. I don't know that I would, I mean, with that much time on the clock, having to calculate everything, I don't know that I would find it. I mean, this is intense. It's a very intense battle. Is white going to find the move king h3 after king takes f4? That is the question. He did. Oh my god, I can't. Okay, I don't know. He must have calculated earlier or something. Or maybe it's natural. I don't know. Or maybe he's seen this kind of patterns before. King h3. Wow. So now king g5 probably won't help because g4. And black doesn't have the right kind of checks. Impressive. What? Evan has won? Oh. I thought this was gonna be a draw. So probably he didn't take because he realized that this is the threat. This wins again. So what is the right move? King f7 or king f7? If you take. No, I don't take. I think the issue is that Black doesn't get the chance to go h5, so he's probably gonna lose by 1 tempo or something because, not 1 tempo, but basically the rook on 5th rank simply cuts off the king. Even if you go h5 and we take, this is lost because like the king cannot circle around to support each pawn, so now we just bring in the king. And when you do that, oopsie, not there, apologies. Here, 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 and white wins. So in order to be able to actually get the draw, we need to be mindful about that. Where's the draw? Maybe king e6, because now we're threatening check and take the pawn. You can't push because obviously check and takes. So now if you go here, and black has the draw. It's hard. So he played here, but now it's losing because you can't stop the pawn, even if you get 2 pawns. So his plan is probably to go king h4, h5, g4, and create a passed pawn on the g file instead, so the king could come from the other side to support it, but I guess this is a bit too late. Yeah, now white wins. Nice. Looks like Eric is on his way to win as well. Drawing this game as expected. So how many games do we have remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no! Oh no! White did mess up. Oh, he didn't. He did the right thing. But he did mess up later. Why is that a blunder? Oh, because of this. Oh, so cute. If you promote to a knight, okay, then check. And white should be winning this too. So white made a huge blunder. And he doesn't get to take the pawn, and now he's down 2. Oh no. Morella Julio has played such a good game. Such a good game. I thought this was going to be a draw, but I guess Black was able to keep calm. Nice win by Grandmaster Fishbine. That king h3 was gorgeous, I gotta say. I loved it. Black is still trying to hold on, but the problem is that white can continue advancing here. At some point, the queen can be given on the pawn, I believe. Or this. No, wait. Not yet. And that's a draw. How is white going to... Oh, king h3. Okay. They're playing really fast. Okay, he brought in his king and he did this. If you just needed the right moment to bring in the king, now it's winning. Wow, I did not expect this would end up being a win for black. The position was so balanced. So white captured the wrong pawn. He should take this because this is the pawn that's the hardest for black to stop. He took in d5, which kind of doesn't give white any kind of counterplay. Knight takes a6 really helps. Knight c7, you can take them back. The next move, push the a pawn. Oh my goodness. And now it's gonna be game. Wait, what? Draw? No, this must be a mistake. Black probably won this. There's no way this is a draw. Alright, so the only remaining game... Oh no, this is over. So I guess we only have 2 remaining games. This one, which will end in a draw. What a save by white. King h3, I'll remember that move forever. It was so beautiful. Like, yeah, now black doesn't have sufficient time to bring the knight to checkmate. He stopped the pawn, but not in time. And even if you bring it here, you need to find a way to get it here, and it's impossible. Wait, this? I mean, the players might end up playing a bit longer here, but okay, we can just trade and hope for draw. What a game. And this was won by white, so this is the last remaining game. Very intense battle in every single game. I hope you guys enjoyed this round. I certainly did. I can't wait to see what the next round will bring, actually. For those of you who might be joining me later, the next round starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. local time or central time. I will be here doing commentary. I'll probably do the recaps then. I think should probably rest my voice a bit before I start doing those. Gotta decide which ones were my favorite moments as well, probably, but definitely super intense. I mean, and quite a lot of upsets if we're looking back at every single one. So Black was definitely looking much worse in this game, but he was able to pull it off and win. Grandmaster Fishpine won in a nice fashion. Okay, International Master Matros did mess up at some point here, and things could have gotten completely different had White taken one. And this was a draw. This game was definitely a very hard fought game, and much worse for Black for a lot of it. But then White decided to, instead of castle, just simply sack the rook, which didn't quite bring him much, and then this game should end in a draw. Evan was doing slightly worse, but was able to outplay his opponent at the rook endgame, where only one move would have saved the game. Okay. Megan was hauled to a draw by woman candidate Master Ananya Vatwa. Very, very nicely played. This game should be a win, which probably it's a wrong result. And yeah, we're just waiting for the finish on this game. I wonder if it matters where White puts the king. I guess it does. If you put it here, you lose. If you put it here, you draw. So how do we lose after this? Probably king g3. That's why you have to go king g1, which he found. Okay, he found it, and now he's gonna go back, and the players will have probably repeated, or soon will have repeated the position 3 times. But like, it's important to be mindful about these placements of the kings when dealing with knights, because you know how it is. You gotta keep your knight ready to come create a smother mate. Who are you guys rooting for? Don't forget to let me know. I would love to know that. As we're waiting for this game to finish, I also want to take a moment and thank the sponsors for the US Open stream. It's a Precision Tune Auto Care. I think I have a command. They're celebrating 45 plus years of providing car owners with a one-stop shop for factory scheduled maintenance service. It's kind of cool. And we appreciate their support for the stream. If you happen to be in Wisconsin, just keep in mind that there's a daily schedule you can check. There's command for that I put on stream. In addition to that, the players have the ability to save money on a few on a local restaurant, but also something cool to do in Wisconsin, I'm told, is actually visit the Mustard Museum. So if you happen to be there early, you don't know what to do, you want to take a walk and not just do chess the whole time, maybe take a little bit of time and go check out the Mustard Museum. And of course, don't forget to follow the stream, to follow US Chess on all the social media accounts, and let us know if you enjoy this. The recaps and such will also be posted on YouTube. You can catch up with US Chess on the US Chess Federation YouTube page. In addition to the streams, lately US Chess has created quite a few podcasts. Been doing one of them. Unfortunately, I had to pause for a month because, well, one, my voice, and then I've been having trouble being able to connect to my to the persons I wanted to interview. But there will be interviews coming back up very soon once my voice is back. I certainly hope you guys check them out. We're trying to find ways to support and empower people through chess, and having the ability to bring people's stories to life, like things that maybe people didn't know, or stories that are worth telling. If you have a nice story, if you know someone that one of us would want to consider to interview, don't miss the opportunity to let us know. Specifically, you can contact National Master Brian Tillis, who's the marketing and communications manager at US Chess, and just get in touch with him and let him know your thoughts about things, or simply just write a message in the chat, or on YouTube, on US Chess YouTube's page, or any socials, what things you want to see, what things you like, what things you might not like. We appreciate all constructive criticism and always strive to make as many educational videos as possible for everyone's benefit, to continue enjoying our beautiful game. So don't hesitate to drop US Chess a message, and I'm sure it's going to be responded relatively fast. I guess Liam is trying his very best every single chance he gets to try to see if his opponent is gonna blunder, but I think it's kind of clear so far that white has to be careful. Like, wherever the king is, you gotta be careful where you place it, right? Here you would be losing, because now, right, not this, sorry, but this. So what have we learned? Well, we need to be mindful where we move the king, right? So we move on the opposite color than the knight. Opposite color. He goes here, we go here. Like when the king is on g3, that's when we go on g1. Otherwise, we go on the opposite color. All right, he's done it. Imagine the nerves and the need to stay focused until the end, because it's not over until it's over, until the score sheets are signed. White has not gotten the draw just yet, so he has to be very, very careful now. King back to h2. I don't know why he's thinking. Yeah, so check this out. Opposite color than the knight. King g3, king h1. This is the key position that white has to remember. All pieces on dark draws the game. If you were black and you tried everything and it didn't work, would you go for a draw or would you play some more? I would definitely play it out until the opponent claimed the threefold. I would do it because you never know. They might mess up eventually. But okay, it's kind of hard to mess up here. Only time could be a factor for white to actually blunder here. It's safe to say the players will get a draw. So I will step out for now, stop the stream. I will be taking a bit of rest, getting ready to decide which were my favorite games of this round to be able to do a recap as we're starting the next stream, which will be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is 7 p.m. Central. 7 p.m. Central is actually the time that the round starts locally, so don't get alerted by me in a way here. I'm going by Eastern time, but you should definitely check out your rounds, the local time, so that you don't get to the round late. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed the stream and looking forward to seeing you at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Bye for now, everyone.